everybody. Welcome to our Ghetto Fairy Friday. I am introducing a new segment on my channel called Mystic of the Week. And I have my very first guest, Miss Fontaine Foxworth of Melanade Stand. And I'm so happy to have her here. I'm excited because I've followed your journey for quite a bit, for probably since 2017, 18-ish.
Yes.
So I'm very happy to have her on the channel. She is returning back from a almost a 4-year hiatus, a spiritual journey. So everybody, welcome. Make sure you guys like, share this video, and I want Miss Fontaine to share with everyone who she is, what Melanade Stand is. Just a little introduction.
Sure. So I call myself a healer. Of course, that has transformed over my journey. But I consider myself a healer, a creative entrepreneur, a spiritualist, and also a tarot deck creator. Um, I have been on this journey of awakening spirituality for probably about 15 years. So all of my lived life wisdom, um, everything that I've experienced, uh, all of my divine talent and creativity, everything is just infused into Melanade Stand, which is my platform, my soul nourishing platform for holistic health, healing, intuitive guidance, of course, tarot, my Melanade Stand tarot card deck. That is my baby.
Yes.
And just honestly, I have moved into a space of less spiritual teaching because I used to be more of a spiritual teacher and more just embodiment of purpose, embodiment of the mission, and just sharing myself with everyone in hopes that what resonates and hopes that I help people through their own journey. So that's a little bit about me. Like you said, it's been quite a while. I started Melanade Stand in 2016, so it's almost a decade. Um, and through life's ups and downs, I'm still here. I didn't think I was going to make it back to my page, but it's clearly a much more powerful calling than I ever could have imagined. So um, that's pretty much about me when it comes to Melanade Stand and spirituality and tarot. Yeah.
Okay. So I do have questions for you. How did you start Melanade Stand? Like, what was the genesis?
So I would say, so back in 2015, I know there are some people who have like a definitive time point when like they experience this awakening, this
Mhm.
crazy thing that happened where you have the scattered thoughts, your mind's all over the place, everything looks different, everything feels different, everything is just different, and you're literally no longer the same person that you were, and you are kind of thrown into this new self. That's the beginning of a lot of people's spiritual journey. So for me, that was around 2014, 2015. And from there, I just kept going. I first started on YouTube, where I was just researching everything I could research about what was going on. Because at that time, there was no one to really talk to about like spiritual awakening or the idea of ascension. Like you felt like a weirdo, right? Like there was no one to really talk to. So I was just on YouTube trying to figure out what is happening in and outside of myself. And that's when I found a lot of pages, spiritual pages like Ash Luna, all the new agey stuff.
Wow.
That right. I took it back, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So like that's when I first hopped into the spirituality thing, and then I ended up just becoming my own spiritual teacher in my own right. And out of that, I started Melanade Stand, um, which also came along with my tarot deck because that came to me in a dream. I just woke up one day from a dream with the idea of making this tarot card deck, and everything was just so synchronistic. And as I was becoming transformed into a different person as a healer, um, Melanade Stand just came up as a place for um, for women of color to find healing, to find spiritual expansion and cosmic awakening. That's how I started. I'm I'm somewhere else now with it, but that's pretty much how I started.
Where did the name come from?
So around that time, when my spiritual awakening happened, everything just seemed to fall and crash and burn like tower moment, tower moment, tower moment, unlike I ever really experienced. And so in my mind, I just kept thinking of, you know what, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And then when I woke up from this dream about this melanated tarot card deck that had just black and brown women, um, I realized, okay, melanated, gone through a struggle, but I have this inspiration, I have this divine intervention. So spirit gave me lemonades or melanade. So when life gives you melanin, you make melanade. And so that's kind of how that birthed it.
Okay, I love it. I don't remember how I found you or how I came across this deck. I know I did a review. Maybe that's how we connected first because I did a tarot review on YouTube on it.
Yeah,
But this deck meant a lot to me at the time because it was very hard to find decks that had people of color in it,
yes,
or I guess you can say a good quantity of people of color in the deck instead of just like one or two,
right,
figures in the deck. And the fact that it was also like real people in the deck. So I
yes,
was drawn to it. I've had this deck for, I don't know, probably since my channel. I've had my channel maybe since 2015, 2016. So maybe around that time. But yeah, I love this deck. I don't know if you still sell it, but I've definitely done a review on it. I've used this
yes.
deck before.
You were one of my first reviews, and I remember you wrote the numbers on it just to make it easier to convert the.
Remember, yeah.
Yes, I remember that. And you know what? I'm happy you mentioned the idea that there were no other decks really with women of color that were classic. So, like the Rider Waite deck is known as the first modern mystic um, deck that kind of became the calling card. So, like when
Mhm.
everyone refers to the classic deck, um, they talk about Rider Waite, whose illustrator actually was a black woman, a black biracial woman.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was drawn to that. And I realized that the deck that I later created, was the first deck in the world, literally the first deck in the world to be a non-illustrated, because most tarot decks previously have always been illustrated by hand or,
Mm.
typically. So this one was photographed, still classic, and featuring just women of color. So it's definitely a groundbreaking thing that I'm forever proud of. And it currently sits in the archival library of non-traditional decks at MIT. So that's a
Yeah.
big highlight for me. So from you first getting it back in 2017, I believe is when I had my first print, to
Hmm.
being where it is now, to me doing this relaunch, is like full circle.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely one of my decks that I do cherish because it is unique. I love independent decks. I have a couple of friends that also make their own decks, their own art, everything on their own. So I definitely appreciate, the indie decks, and especially when it represents, different,
Yes.
kind of like the Modern Witch Tarot. Like that one was also a groundbreaking deck too, as well, because it did have multicultural,
Yes, I love
also
that deck. I love that deck.
inclusive, yeah. So I love that deck too. But yeah, this is one of my ones. I still got the bag and everything.
Yes.
So,
I'm so happy you still have it. And I wonder, my intention was that when you use the deck, it feels like you're talking to a homegirl. It's like, sis, listen,
mhm.
like I gotta talk to you. And the voice that comes out and the tone that comes out is something that feels so connected to our identity, so connected to our blackness, so connected to how we talk, so connected to just the language. And so I wonder if you've had that experience where your card is giving you the side eye, girl. Like, girl, what are you
I've
doing?
read with this deck before, most definitely. I do like the relatable. So like The Queen of Swords is you, right?
Ah, there's me.
What
I wasn't
made
even supposed to
you?
be that card. Like I literally said, I am not going to be in this deck. I'm not going to be in this deck. And the funny thing about the whole process was that
Mhm.
each person that I did casting for, and I casted maybe like 80 women, everyone that ended up in the deck literally was exuding that energy in real life. And I spoke to them in real life, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you picked that card!" Like I felt that energy. And for me, I was bossing up. I was as the Queen of Swords, right? I was assertive. I was a boss. You should see me on the set, just like getting things done, moving
Mhm.
mountains. And so I could not find a person that I felt fit that energy, and I was like, where is my Queen of Swords? And then I just was like, oh, it's me. I'm the Queen of Swords. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just go with this. Spirit is pushing me towards this. I'm gonna embody this and be a part of this deck. So
Mhm.
the humility in me was never supposed to be in it, but Spirit was like, it is you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's dope. Cause I love these cards. Like again, it is it's artistic, it's intentional. Like it doesn't seem like inauthentic, like we're trying to embody certain cards in the deck and dress up a certain way. It's like it just is, you know what I mean? So that's what I love about it too.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was just so excited to be back in the swing of things, and because I really put it down for a while, like you said, almost
Hmm.
4 years. So it truly is a miracle to be here, and I'm just excited. I'm excited to be back on this journey in a different place.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In a more grounded place, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's what comes with the spiritual journey. Sometimes, like, you do have to, I mean, you're still on the journey, even if you think you're not, because sometimes you do need to redirect or what you thought, what you were supposed to be doing. Like, sometimes life happens
Yes.
to where it does take you on a different course, or like if you had a map, like okay, we might have the map to where we're supposed to go, but then if there's something naturally that takes place where you can't go down that route,
Yes.
you go another way. You know what I mean? So divine timing.
Israel. Israel.
Yeah, we've all been there. That's life. Like that's what they don't tell you. Like it's never going to be like we can plan for things. We can say, "Oh, this is predictable," or "This is how I feel like it's supposed to be." This is how people tell you it's supposed to be, but it's hardly ever that.
It hardly is. And I always say that the your timeline is never on your time. Like it literally, you might think that, okay, I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna have this done by this, I'm gonna have this. But
Hmm.
literally when you're moving in ebb and flow, and you are living um in just pure faith as well, like the universe will take detours that you did not ask for. And
Hmm.
it's never something that, even though in the moment it could be the worst shit ever,
Hmm.
in some way, when you reframing is so important and so powerful. You realize that years later you're going to be like, wow, if like I didn't hit that rock bottom, I wouldn't be at this mountaintop.
Hmm.
If I didn't fall that low, I wouldn't have ascended that high. And so
Yeah.
that's why I always detach myself from expectations, because expectations kill creativity.
Hmm.
Expectations kill destiny, I think.
Hmm.
um
Yeah.
and I just basically know that if I know where I'm going, if I have my intentions and I'm holding that intention, and I feel it, I consume it, I am it, do you know what I mean? I will get there. I will be there, and I will be there in the most perfect timing. I'll be
Yeah.
there in the most perfect timing. And so that's why I always say our timeline is not on our time at all. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So you can do whatever you're trying to do to divert or to manipulate, but what's gonna be will be, because where you are is where you are perfectly. And I always say,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we got some comments. You're speaking the truth. And that's all that, yes, that's all it is. Like resonance to resonance at the end of the day. And I had to learn in my journey that I didn't have to overdo. I didn't have to overgive. I didn't have to overtry. I didn't have to overperform. I didn't have to be in this mission. And if I failed, if I, like once you
Yeah.
go through so many ego deaths, once you go through so many rebirths of yourself, you get lighter. When you get lighter, you get higher. You know what I mean? So, and everything that comes with that. So, and that's the one thing I can expect.
Yeah.
That as I go through my cycles, as I collapse timelines within myself, and as I hold that intention and that vision for myself, I might not know how it's gonna look, when it's gonna come. And I hate the word patience. I've always hated that word patience. Hated it, like Damian Wayne. Um, but when I let go, I always receive. And like for instance, I'm having a baby right now. I'm in my 5th month of pregnancy, and
Oh.
yeah, so I'm having a little bean, and it's the most. That's a whole nother story, a whole nother timeline. But I'm telling you, in this whole era of sprinkle, sprinkle, just last year, girl, I was really on the sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle life. Like I was like, forget this,
Yeah.
I don't care. I completely was about decentering men, focusing on my divine task, my goals, getting my money up. I was so far away from anything to do with relationships, with children. It was at a point where I was like, I'm going to be the rich auntie, and I'm okay with that. There was a point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to release the desire, or maybe even the conditioning that I've had around what it means to be a woman, and what it means to have children, what it means to not have children. I wasn't finna rush myself. I wasn't gonna get with nobody who didn't deserve to share my essence and to co-create life with me. I wasn't going to be, you know, um, desperate. And so
Yeah.
I realized, you know what? I'm a woman of a certain age. In the what do you call it? Prenatal world. I'm geriatric, which is crazy because rude. I'm very young. I'm very spirited. And so I got to the point, and speaking of timelines, where I was like, you know what? I've held so much space for this in my spirit, in my heart, in my soul. I have been so open to receive. I have cried with my heart. And you know what? If it will be, it will be. If it doesn't, it won't, and that's okay. And I released it. I said that, you know what? It's okay. And then out of nowhere, really just out of nowhere, and not even out of nowhere, because out of nowhere doesn't exist. Everything is synchronistic. Everything just came together. I met my twin flame in the most crazy way. We connected like immediately. It was like immediately, yes. It was like I know you. I know where have you been, first of all, the fuck? But it came together. We came together so quickly, and here I am, something that I never thought at 37 years old that I was going to have children. I thought it was over for me, and it happened. So that's when I really saw again for myself the idea of releasing that timeline, because your time is not on your timeline. Your timeline is not on your time.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful,
Yes.
and congratulations
Thank
to
you.
mommyhood. And you said something that kind of echoes like conversations I have with my sisters or sister friends, like when it comes to not just settling for someone just because, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's based off of convenience, like, okay, this person has money, even though I'm not looking for love, like, I could use him, I can benefit from him.
Hmm.
Instead of doing that, it did take you to say, I'm not focusing on love, I'm just going to, do me, in other words. When you let go of that resistance, things kind of flowed in a sense, you
Yeah.
know? And like you said, you didn't plan on this timeline of having a child and meeting a person. And I feel like that's so important for people to understand, again, going back to the spiritual journey. Because men or women, humans will tell you, you have to be married by 30, or you have to have kids by a certain age, or you got to be a certain way to find a man. But I always say, like, everybody's journey is different. Everybody's timeline is different. Everybody's experience. Like,
Yes.
you might be told you should have a baby at 30, but you might not be mentally or spiritually ready for that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was a beautiful synchronicity and reminder of that.
Yeah. And it's funny you said that, not being ready. I realized that everything is divine, and it is based on the way that you level up in your frequency and vibration, based on the way you heal and um stop identifying with your trauma, right? And so for me, I had to get rid of every last single mother wound.
Mm-hmm.
I think in order for the universe to open this up for me to be on my highest timeline and give birth to this rainbow child, I guess you could say. And so it all goes back to self. Everything goes back to self. Even though we're living in we outside,
Mm-hmm.
everything manifests from within.
And then
and,
without.
and when you are intending to live at your highest capacity
Mm-hmm.
for existence, then that's when those timelines really do get real, and you just have to be patient, and you have to just trust. um
Mm-hmm.
and going back to what you said about telling your sisters, like, the whole sprinkle sprinkle and what to do, that I truly believe that when you decide to do that, you can, by all means, do you.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a soul contract. You are trading something. You are trading
Mm-hmm.
something karmic. You are trading something, in essence, that is what you truly want to be, something real and connected
Mm-hmm.
and aligned. You're trading it for lifestyle. You're trading it for this kind of um, I always call it like a reptilian, like lower self ideal, instead
Mm-hmm.
of trusting that if you are where you are and you're elevated as far as you have spiritually, that
Mm-hmm.
because you exist, that equivalent exists, and you don't have to go around sitting in lobby hotel bars,
Mm-hmm.
trying to finesse and coerce this connection that's built on physical, this connection
Yeah.
that's built on ego, this connection that's literally a superficial transactional connection. Because you might get that man with the money, but ultimately you are trading something that's keeping you in that timeline for much longer. And if you stay in that timeline, when you come back here, you might be on that same timeline. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so I truly believe that it is a transaction, and that you are trading what the heart and the soul truly wants, and what you divinely deserve, is which is a counterpart that matches your frequency, for just that, to survival. And if I live my life realizing that, damn, and it's no shade to nobody else, I
Mm-hmm.
did all of this for survival in a experience that is a drop in a bucket, so to speak.
Right.
And so now that's on my soul imprint. That's on my soul signature right now. That's on my Akashic record. So when I come back, I'm starting from that space, because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
figure it out, and I was unable to create the reality that I am most aligned with. Instead, I decided to be in 2025 trying to get money, trying to get people to spend money on me, trying to. So once I realized that too, that helped me get out of the idea of selling my soul short for sprinkle sprinkle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
that was
that's my
heavy.
opinion.
Yeah, no, that was heavy what you said as far as the timelines. And um we did a Ghetto Fairy Friday with a topic based off of like the sprinkle sprinkle concepts and the like dating guru topics and things like that, and how kind of dangerous it is. Like you can take something with a grain of salt, or you can kind of, as they say, eat the meat and chew out the bones, or spit out the bones of certain things. But it is a dangerous concept if you really think about it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And there was something else that she said that was a trigger in a good way, a good trigger. One of my best friends, Kenya, she said before she met her person, she had a mantra. She said, "If I exist, so does my divine partner," and she would remind herself of that. And she met her husband like within that same year. So you saying that if you exist, that same essence exists, or what would be your divine match for you? So you
Right.
don't got to go out and sell yourself short, or take somebody else's word for it. Again, like that's another thing about the spiritual community I've kind of worry about a little bit with some people, is that they look to everyone else to kind of tell them how to do it.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to start there, I guess, because you're soul searching, you're seeking something. But if the world says, okay, this is how you should look, how you should dress to get a person, it's a lot of externalizing instead of internalizing work,
Yes.
if that makes sense.
100%. I think we do that too, because in the age of social media, we sometimes get a little disillusioned, and we get
Hmm.
these parasocial contracts with these people that we don't know really is fighting to keep the lights on, or had to do
Hmm.
something strange for a little bit of change last night. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like they ain't gonna tell you all that. but
Mhm.
you're here following because we're human beings, and the best way we learn is by watching, by watching and by repeating and by seeing what
Mhm.
other people have done. But it takes a truly strong person who's really about the spiritual life to be able to disconnect from what they
Mhm.
see and connect to getting into
Within.
themselves. You know what I mean? To coming to these conclusions for themselves
Yeah.
versus having to, pay a guru, who a lot of these gurus don't be married. That they all
Yeah.
they don't they're not in harmonized relationships, really. And a lot of it is about money.
Mhm.
At the end, it all is. But when you look at someone like Shira Seven, if you are empathic and kind of psychic, you can look in her eyes and be like, you know what, girl, this wasn't the top for you, but
Mhm.
now this is what keeps you floating. So you gotta play this game. But you're not truly in sync and in alignment
Mhm.
with your highest
What
potential
you're
for
supposed to.
happiness.
Mhm.
You're in alignment with the scarcity of survival,
Yeah.
that you then cosplay as this. I'm good. You're no and
Yeah.
so I picked up on that, and a lot of other kind of guru creators like that. And you can smell something, and it's just like, you know what, I have to
Mhm.
disconnect because I'm getting a little bit too disconnected from myself and what I know
Mhm.
that I deserve. Because if you talk about hypergamy at the highest level, divinely, hypergamy is going to be that without the mind games.
Yeah.
So that relationship is going to be divine without the mind games.
Right.
You don't have to go through all of that when you are going. You're not trying to cut through. You know
Right.
what I mean? By cutting up. You know what I mean? So um,
Yeah.
I truly believe that, and my fiance is a testament to that for me. And I'm so happy that I decided to stay in alignment with myself, because
Mhm.
then I would have to been, you know, playing for this money, playing a
Yeah.
role. And me, I can't play a role my whole life just so that I can say that I am more than surviving, just so that
Yeah.
I can say that, oh yeah, I got it. Like, that's not worth the soul contract that I'm exchanging at all.
And
and,
it's
and that,
taxing in the end. That's another thing. It's taxing. I mean, even throughout the whole process of it, it's taxing on your soul, on your energy,
yes.
you know? So, um, speaking of, what's one of the spiritual truths that keep you, like, no matter where you are within your, like, your journey, no matter what's going on outside or in your life, like, what is something like a truth, a spiritual truth that keeps you, if that makes sense?
A truth that keeps me, I would say, is that I am not here to do anything but be. Once I
Mm-hmm.
realize that I don't have to perform, I don't have to get these accolades, I don't even have to be known for what it is that I want to be known for. All I'm here to do is to be, and to be in my highest form, to be in my greatest energy, to hold on to the moments of joy consistently, to experience that, to be my authentic self, to never have to switch up to prove
Mm-hmm.
anything to anyone. Literally, I'm here to be. I exist. And once I took the weight of the career and of looking good, and the money, and the once I realized that I have nothing to prove to anybody or nobody, and that I literally am here just to embody love, just to be love, just to walk around and you feel it, because that's what I am. Like the sun shines, that's what I am. Once
Mm-hmm.
I realized that, life just began to just go so much more smooth. Like, I
Yeah.
was less bothered. I was less concerned about things not going right. Like, when you embody love at the
Mm-hmm.
highest frequency, the universe just conspires around you. Everything works out.
Yeah.
Everything works out. You might not know how it works out, but it always does. And that's because
Does.
you are literally in alignment with the highest frequency there is, the frequency of creation, the
Yeah.
frequency of truth, the frequency of all in complete unison and harmony. And once you are in alignment and embodiment with that, there's you don't have to you sprinkle all by yourself.
Yeah.
So that's something that has held me, and that I've had to come back to, is just holding that pure potential energy of just pure unadulterated love within myself, outside of myself, and that's what really just grounds me, is being that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful and very. I feel like it's simplistic, but it still is weighty because to say just to be me, remind myself like I don't have to be anything or something. I can just be me, and that's hard sometimes in this like in this social media content society. And it's so unstable, it's so unpredictable. Like one minute you're up here, the next minute people might not resonate with you. It's like it's a almost like kind of like the music business. I guess the best way I can describe it is one minute your song is hot, and then maybe your sound or your genre just isn't anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, you have to learn to love yourself through it. Like, no, I'm classic,
Yes.
timeless, no matter what
Timeless.
era, no matter what time I'm in.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
know?
Just like infinite, almost like something that's infinite is not worried about the moment of right now and who fucks
Hmm.
me, who don't. Something that's infinite and has that infinite consciousness literally just moves through life in a different way.
Hmm.
Um, and once I tapped into that, um, it like I said, everything just is so much clearer. And then also you become so clear of a mirror
Hmm.
that anything that is approaching you, you see the entire reflection. You see where you were, you see where you're not.
Hmm.
You see everything. And so when you can be clear as a mirror because you operate from love, not from
Hmm.
ego, not from trying too hard, not from groupthink, not from anything, but operating
Hmm.
from that vibration, it comes into your knowing, and like
Yeah.
you literally create a force field around yourself and everything it is that you do when you operate like that.
Yeah.
um and so that's definitely a truth, and it not to say life will be perfect, but when you're operating and you're in the embodiment of pure potential love, you
Hmm.
find that you're more easily able to stay in a place of neutrality even when things are crazy.
Yeah.
Even when everything out here is going like this, within you're still on that frequency. So while things are revealing itself and making itself known, and the external is shedding to align with where you are inside, you will always
Hmm.
get back to one. You will always get back to that 0 point. And that's how I operate in my life. You know,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes. Yes. And I love that. No matter what's going on outside of you, it's all about where you're at within yourself.
Yes.
You can look at life like this is happening and you can get caught up in it and react to it. We're human.
Yes.
That happens, right? But like you said, life doesn't necessarily get easier. You have good days, you have bad days, but it's how you respond to those things, you know.
100%.
So yeah, I love that.
Yay!
Shout out to
Someone said
everybody in the chat.
this is a blessing. This is blessing my soul right now.
That's
Ashe.
my sis Tori. Hello. Everybody in the chat, greetings.
Greetings. And I love to hear that. What makes me most happy is, even if it's just one person, and that's the humility part. That's
Hmm.
the healing your ego part, because we're always gonna have an ego. Don't let no spirit
Hmm.
to tell you kill the ego. No, ego is like a layer of skin. We can't, if you peel off your skin, baby, that's it.
We're human.
You're gonna
Hmm.
expire from the planet. So I think it's always, for me, if I just connected with one person and I gave them that one thing that stopped them from going into a downward spiral,
Hmm.
that might be all it is, but it just stopped them from going into a dark place that would take a lot of trauma to get out of. That to me is everything. I
Yeah,
won. I fulfilled purpose in that moment,
that
in
man.
every moment that happens for me. So I am so thankful when I can connect with somebody, um, and it be just completely innocent. I'm not expecting any exchange. I'm not
Hmm.
asking for no money. It's just a pure synchronistic moment that literally shifted an entire energetic field for that person in that one
Hmm.
moment. That to me is winning. more than any check, more than any material thing, more than any accolade, knowing that like my soul resonance connected with someone
Mhm.
else's soul resonance in that exact moment in time and space, that to me is everything. So that also keeps me very grounded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautifully said. Definitely the quantity versus the quality of things.
Hmm.
Going back to the performing thing where it's all about numbers. And that was something I'm gonna be like transparent and honest, like something that I struggled with for a long time. Like um feeling like I'm giving something, I'm pouring in, and feeling like, I guess you could say, a loser sometimes, right? I'm pouring in and I don't feel reflective of that. And then you see people that are performing, that are playing people and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and they're seemingly getting that. But if you think about, okay, sometimes spirit just needs you to be a mouthpiece for, it could be one person, could be two people, versus expressing yourself, and the people that don't really take it in or do well with it, I guess you could say, like just wasting your energy in that sense. So it's that perspective, I guess I had to like work through that, and still healing in a sense with that. 'Cause I feel like it connects to inner child wounds and stuff like that, of rejection,
Yes.
abandonment.
Yes, all of that. And I'm so happy you mentioned that because as being people, you know, in spiritual work, healing work, um, it sometimes is a really difficult thing
Mm,
to conceptualize a competition when this is something that you're doing from your whole soul and your whole truth and your whole
mm,
spirit. You know what I mean? And so I've had to also get over a lot of those humps of feeling like, why am I not big? Why
yeah.
I'm not blue check? Why, you know what I mean? And then when I looked at the substance of some of these people and I realized there's no soul and no spirit in it, it became much less of something I'm concerned about. Once I realized the biggest people are the emptiest. I'm just like, oh, so I'm fighting for what? I'm fighting to get where they are, just leading a whole bunch of other soulless people or people who have not recollected their spirit. And so there
Mhm.
it's like the what do you call it, the something leading to something. It's just
The
like
blind leading the
the
blind.
blind the blind leading the blind.
Mhm.
Why am I so hurt by that? So
Mhm.
what in me needs to adjust so that I can operate as myself fully and reach whom I really need to reach, whether it's 1 or 1 million.
Yeah.
I always say, if it's my purpose to be that huge, then so be it. If it's not, I'm still nourished. I'm not depleting myself. I learned how to
Mhm.
balance this spirituality with the idea of, survival versus thriving. And once
Yeah.
I took my ego out of it and just really sat with myself and say, why are you doing this? Right? Once I got real with that, it was so much easier to not, succumb to the idea of algorithms and numbers and all of these artificial constructs that are created by something that's completely not divine. Do you know
Right.
what I mean? And so I always say that everybody's time comes in whatever shape, form, or way that means. And I'm not going to sit here and be envious of someone who's not moving from that 0 point, from that spirit. And then
Mhm.
before you know it, out of nowhere, I'll find something crazy that was said, something that messy that was said, something that just confirmed, like, I knew I was on something. I'm not gonna even. It's just like I'm so happy I'm not tripping over that because
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Um, so yeah, it definitely is something that it takes time, and you go through transitions with where you
Mhm.
are. And so I definitely resonate with that as well, so much as a spiritual teacher, and
Yeah.
it's one of those things for sure. But I think the real ones are rising because this is the time. This is the time. This is the time for people who are truly in alignment, um, with source for real. And it's not about a paycheck, and it's
Yeah.
not about the followers, and it's not about this transactional behavior that seems to be everywhere, from sprinkle sprinkle to spirit Lord and Savior. I feel like the people who are truly, who've just been on ice, on ice, on ice, those are
Mhm.
the ones who will, in whatever way that means for them, will feel fulfilled in that purpose. Will ultimately feel like, you know what, I'm here and I'm okay with wherever it is because because I'm receiving. I'm receiving and I'm deserving and I'm in alignment with all of that. And I kept my toes 10 toes down and
Mhm.
real. I didn't have to go and do the woo woo performance stuff. I didn't have to do the none of that stuff. I didn't have to do stuff that I don't even like because that's what people like. Like I stay true to myself. So for people say the chosen ones, I
Mhm.
kind of don't go off of titles like anything anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but whatever that frequency is, our time is now. Our time is now and ongoing. So yes.
Yes, I agree, and thank you for that perspective too, because I'm sure like I'm not the only one that needed to hear that. You know what I mean? Um, I do have other people that do watch as well that have, gifts and callings and things that they're doing, and that pressure of, okay, I'm doing all of this and I'm doing all of that. Why am I not here? And that's natural. When you put
Right.
in work into things, you want to see that reflected back. Um, but like you said, the algorithms, things that are not divine
Right.
structures and things like that, you can't fight against that type of machine. It's
Right.
already rigged.
Right. Right. And it's not worth it. Like once you realize that, then spirit moves mountains. I always say spirit moves mountains to put you in the place where you already know you are.
Hmm.
And I have seen that in my platforms many times. And so
Hmm.
I definitely trust in that for sure. And I'm also not going to burn myself out to try to keep up with the spiritual Joneses who really ain't really that anyway. Like it just defeats the purpose, you
Yeah.
know? So always getting back to self, I think that is the light. I think that you are the light in a dark room. You just don't know it because you light. I always say that. Like you looking for something, you looking for a clarity, but you are that light
All
bulb.
of that.
And as soon as you tap into that, I feel like things, and sometimes pivoting
Yeah.
is the way to go, like just like a little pivot, and that'll do it, you know what I mean? And so got to be open and receptive to a little pivot, even if it means you're not doing something the way you used to do anymore, or
Hmm.
you're tapping out of something and shifting into something. To me, it doesn't matter. As a healer, as a spiritual teacher, it doesn't matter what you're doing, because you are that divine vehicle. Whatever
Hmm.
you do is going to literally be healing.
Yeah.
Whatever space you take up is going to literally be what is needed.
Hmm.
Whatever volume you feel is going to literally be shifting for somebody's spirit. And so when I was doing my photo shoot stuff, I'm a creative director, set designer. I was
Hmm.
healing through that, and whether I knew it consciously, people
Hmm.
were touched and moved by the ability to express themselves in a way that was free. You know, um, and so anything that you do, even if it's not what you thought you were going to do, because you are you, I always say your purpose is being served. You are healing, you are touching, you are resonating, you are shifting somebody for the better. And as a healer or spiritual teacher, that's what we really want. So the container in which you do it, the vehicle in which you do it, honestly, the path that you take doesn't need
Hmm.
to look one way. But when you know that you reach somebody in a way that feels the same way as you giving a reading, but you're
Hmm.
but you're cooking food, or you taking care of somebody's baby, or you are writing a book, or you
Hmm.
are anything, that energy is still there, and that's how you're able to feel full and not feel like you're missing something, because you're not. You're there
Yeah.
doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You're in purpose even when you think you're not in purpose. Yes.
absolutely, I'm telling you, and holding on to that helped me a lot. Helped me with the idea of self worth. Helped me with
Hmm.
the idea of why am I not where I am. When I realized everything that I do, everywhere that I go, I'm emanating love.
Hmm.
So like I won. I won. You know what I mean? I'm here and I'm giving and I'm shining and and people move different around you. People
Yeah.
feel different around you. That's a gift. That's a gift in itself. So yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
know what I
That
mean?
takes a lot of pressure off of, oh, what's my purpose? And we like make it big. It is big, but what's my purpose doesn't always have to be about fame or public figure level. Sometimes, like you said, it's cooking, it's writing a book, it's how you make people feel, like being conscious of your presence in everyday life, your presence in other people's lives.
Yes.
It That's purposeful as well. You know what I mean? Like it could be a phone conversation you have with a friend, you didn't know that you helped heal something in that very moment.
Hmm.
So yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate that perspective.
100%. And I love when I can see that like manifest, and I'm like, wow. Like
Mhm.
it just makes you want to cry when like you mean so much more to a person than you ever could imagine. And
Mhm.
then when that's revealed to you is so humbling, and it takes you out of that ego place, and it brings you
Mhm.
back into heart, you know? And so I can't say that I'm so blessed right now. I'm not the biggest spiritual healer in the world, but like in my world I am.
But you are a healer,
you
but
you
you are that.
you know so that's
Yes.
how I always say I people don't like Beyonce, for instance, right? People can't stand her. I can't
Mhm.
I can't mess with no one who just finds any reason to hate her, because what I've
Mhm.
realized is that I'm the Beyonce of my own reality. I feel that way. I feel
Mhm.
greatness. I feel love. I feel like a genius. I feel like everything that I want to feel. And so there's no way that if I'm a mirror, I can see
Mhm.
someone like that person and be like, oh, I you
Not
know,
shaken.
because that's gone back to me. Like, what? Oh, you don't see you?
Yeah.
You really don't see you? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You don't. I see me. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I look at it too. It's just like, and then when I'm looking at these people on these pedestals, and my
Mhm.
reflection, my mirror is clear, so I can
Mhm.
reflect back clearly, and that I can see that density there. It's like,
Mhm.
wow, I can see you because I see myself clearly. So now I can see you reflecting back to me shadows that are very, very not flattering to
Mhm.
my glow. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So once you just get clear like that, like everything just becomes so much more transparent.
That's good.
Absolutely. And then you don't even feel away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I'm enjoying this. I have two more questions for you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. The last question is, what message do you have as far as for those that maybe they think that they're lost, they don't see themselves fully, as you mentioned, chosen ones, they don't see themselves fully, but they are still luminous, they are the light. Like, what would be your message to them?
My message for them is to again always go back to the goodness in you. Always go back to you know that you're an authentic person. The things that you know that you do this well. You know that um you know have a pure heart. Like just going back to the things, the essence of you. You love to make people laugh. That in itself, knowing that you love to make people laugh, can bring you back to a place of just like easy joy, you didn't have to do anything about it. You just remembered. So remembering the best things about your soul, I think, even when you're going through a hard time, because those are the things that you need to stay grounded in. Because if you're looking for something else, then you're disconnected from what you are in
Yeah.
that moment. So I always say, for anyone who is kind of on this journey, lost, don't feel like you're lost. You're in transition. You're in
Okay.
transition. You're literally you're on the road. You know what I mean? You're gonna figure it out. You're gonna figure out. You're gonna have plenty of help. You're gonna have plenty of synchronistic moments that get you back into alignment. So
Yeah.
first off, it would be the disconnecting from the idea that you're lost. You're not lost. You're not lost at all. You are becoming. And that is the idea of Melanade Stand too. Is I have been here. I have not been here. I've been through ups and downs, but I'm constantly becoming. I'm constantly shifting. There is no one destination to this ultimate, healed version of yourself. I
Mhm.
think that it's more about integration. It's more about integrating all of the changes, integrating the ways that you flourish and you thrive and you get better and you expand. Even integrating the ways that you fall and you spiral and you get back up, because that all is a part of your becoming. So if you think of yourself as lost, then you think of yourself as you're not in you're not blooming, and we're constantly blooming. I mean, we're constantly growing. Like you close your eyes, your body is still going, you know. And so that's what I would say to someone who feels lost. You're not lost. You are infinitely becoming, and you don't have to put a ceiling on what that looks like. It's when we put ceilings on what that looks like because of this external world that we live in. You can't be bigger than life. You can't be the universe itself if you're putting your becoming in boxes. You're putting your becoming in checkpoints. Healing definitely isn't a linear thing. It's everything all at once. You know what I mean? So how can you be lost when you're there? That's how I
Beautifully
look at it.
said.
Yeah.
Yes.
How can you be
Yes.
lost when you're there? You're there, girl. You know? So that would be something I would say to someone who feels like they're lost. You're not, because you're everything. You're literally everything that is all at once, everywhere. You're omnipresent. So you can't be lost. You are. That's it. You're not. You don't. You are. Yeah. And that goes back to being. That goes back to that presence of being, in that pure potential place. If you are pure potential, you're not lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My last question for you is, and this is probably going to be a question I ask future mystics of the week. What makes you mystical, and or how do you define being mystic? What does that mean to you?
So it's so funny you mentioned that, because it goes back to the idea of like performance versus being. And I realized the true idea, or the true meaning of mystical, is literally being whatever you want, however you want, in whatever way that feels for you. It is literally living through life, constantly receiving, constantly receiving, and giving and receiving, uh, without boundary. You know, being a mystic, I used to think, oh, I need to have these crystals and I need to practice this meditation. No, being a mystic is being free as fuck, being unbound, like
Mm-hmm.
literally unbound within yourself, being the biggest version of who you are in every way at all times. Being a mystic is, you can't fit in a box. So I don't do titles anymore per se, because if I'm mystical, if I'm magical, if I'm present everywhere, then there's not just one shape to that. It's like water, right? It's like air, it's like fire. Every element breaks through things. Every element pushes and expands through things. Every element is a force to be reckoned with, because depending on what that element is, everything around it is shaped to that energy. That is being mystical, you know. Um, it's not about the most knowledge that you have about one thing or another. It literally is, you are divinity in form. You are divinity in form, and you walk around the world as such. Um, that is what being a mystic is to me. Not bound by any one belief, not bound by any one view, not bound by any one political affiliation, not bound by anything like that. Literally able to just cut through shit like water, cut through shit like air, burn through shit like fire. You know what I mean? Um, Corrode things like earth, just by your pure being. To me, that is what being a mystic means: unbound, fully. Yeah.
Well, I thank you so much, Fontaine, for coming on, you know, blessing the space. This was a vision I held on to maybe for a year, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm shy. I don't wanna.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I reached out to you because I feel like you did touch and will,
Mhm.
because this is going to be on replay. So somebody's going to see it when they're
Yes.
supposed to.
Okay.
So
Thank you
I
so much.
really
I
appreciate
appreciate you. This was a synchronicity for me. Just like I said, you get roadmaps, you get signs. So you never lost. This was just like a bing, chime in.
it.
And this is your go card. This is your go. whatever, like you're on the right path when someone reaches out to you, and wants to do something as beautiful as this. So thank you. I appreciate you for being on my journey of becoming
Yes,
and being unbound. And so I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
yes. Same. I appreciate you as well. And the becoming, the blossoming, and this was just divine timing. So
Yeah.
again, I appreciate you for sharing with
Yeah.
us and
Yeah.
giving
I'm
me
going
the
to share this as
opportunity.
well. I'm so looking forward to also seeing your continual becoming as well. You know, I love your readings and I love your style of readings,
Mhm.
and you connect to a lot of people. So yeah,
Thank you.
yay.
Well, tell the people where they can find you, stay connected with you, support you, let them know.
Yes. So on Melanade Stand, I am at Melanade underscore stand. Basically on TikTok, X, and Melanade. On Instagram, it's all the same, Melanade Stand. So if you
Mhm.
search that, you'll find me. Um, I'm also on Substack. I'm still building that. You know what I mean? But if you just type in Melanade Stand everywhere, I'm unbound, y'all. So
Mhm.
Melanade
It's
Stand
linked. Everything's
on,
linked, just in
on
case anybody.
yes.
It's linked, so
Yes,
you know.
and if anyone is interested in my monthly newsletter where I share the things I'm sharing today in written form,
Mhm.
um, feel free. It is a subscription on Podia, and so you can tune in with me every month. I offer collective energy readings for each sign. Um, just insights into motherhood, insights into my journey, insights into my quantum physics mind, also dealing with holistic health, herbalism, um, also dealing with uh, just intuitive wisdom from just living life. Um, and so, yeah, it's jam packed with a bunch of stuff if you want to have that exclusive content. But otherwise, Melanate Stand, TikTok, uh, Twitter, because I'm old school, all Melanate Stand. And I would please do follow me, and I would love to see how I can support you. And yeah.
Okay, thank you. Quick question, I forgot. Is the tarot deck still? Is it up for print or?
So yes, so in the next, I'm thinking around September, October. I definitely will have a new inventory. I'm playing around with the idea of a pre-order coming up soon. So I do have some surprises coming out, including the tarot card deck. And so yes, by the end of this year, I will have my cards. They will be available, and I'm just super excited to just get back. And the Empress, oh, this was the reading for me. My, pleasure.
Ah,
Yes, get back to creation, get back
yeah.
to, you know, just this fertile spirit, this fertile energy of making shit happen, and
Mhm.
yeah, so that was for everybody here. Like get into it. Get into your
Get
fertile
into it.
creativity because the energy is carrying it. The energy is carrying it through. Get birthed in it like a baby. So get into it. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Fontaine. I
Thank
hope you enjoy the rest of your
you
evening.
too. Absolutely. Have a wonderful night, and have a wonderful night, everybody watching and everyone to
Thank you.
watch to come.
Yes, everybody on the chat, thank you. I know I couldn't like stop and stuff, but I appreciate everybody's comments. It seems like it was healing some people. So
Yeah.
love, I appreciate that. Share with your people. Somebody might need to hear it. Okay. But I appreciate you guys too. Enjoy the rest of your night, your day, your evening.
All right,
And
y'all.
we'll keep in touch. Much
Ashe.
love, y'all. Peace.
Bye.
Bye bye. If we can end the live, I have chunky fingers.